Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here today. Today, we are talking about the navigation on TV in Flutter. And our focus is on keyboard navigation and the system which is available, the focus system is available in Flutter. So, yeah, I'm Hashem, Flutter developer consultant at Sky. George mentioned. And let's talk about a little about what we have for navigation on TV. So when we are working, usually when we are working with apps or softwares, we are using, we have touch points or we are using mouse. But on TV, we have, the users are very limited to D-pad navigation, which means user has 4 arrow keys, top, down, left, right. And the second is select button to select an element and back button to pop the view. These 6 buttons is all we have for navigation. So, and let's see, have a demo first on a Android TV and Chromecast. See how the app looks like. Okay. So here it is a Flutter app running on Android TV. And you may wonder, oh, Flutter on TV? Yeah, Flutter runs on Android TV, but officially it's not supported. But we are trying to see the experience. So the app is entirely in Flutter. So yeah, we start to do navigation. The application is Disney Plus style app. And I try to mimic the UI. And yeah, so I select the profile. Then we are on the home page. Then we start to traverse the UI and see how the experience looks like. So we start with the feature carousel. This is the thing we have completed for the TV. So, and yeah, we can navigate. And when we press the arrow down, it's the navigation selects the nearest bottom element, the movie tile. So the navigation is predictive and intuitive. So it means it navigates the UI as it is expected. So I press the arrow down again. Then I press arrow up. It selects the Shogun, yeah, which is expected. Then Ice Age. Then as I select the rightmost element, the movie tile, it stops at the end. So the navigation is locked for horizontal. Then I select the leftmost element. Then I select the nearest top one. Then I use left arrow key. Then the side menu opens, which is again predictive. Then I select the search. I'm on another page. Then I can traverse the UI again. Then I can navigate back to the home. And let's dive deep more. I select a movie. And let's do a playback. So it's playing a video. I can pause, play, move forward. Then I can navigate back the video is stopped. Then we have extra pane, which shows the episodes, suggested movies, details, so you can traverse. Then you can select the seasons. For example, season 2, the other elements, they are selected. And when you select a season, so when you select a season, it immediately highlights the movie, the first top movie. Then I can navigate back to the seasons. It navigates to the selected one, the selected season. Then I select season 3 again. I can navigate back, up. It selects episodes, then top again. And so, for example, again, as I press arrow down, it always selects the episode. It doesn't select the suggested or details. But when I press arrow up, it again navigates. It shows the background or the show page. Then I use back button. It navigates back. So we see we can traverse the UI as the way a user is expecting. And then let's dive to see how Flutter make it possible for this kind of navigation, what kind of main elements we have. Now I switch to my laptop. Okay. So what makes this focus possible in Flutter? Flutter has some components, some objects.
If you try and plug it in again.
Okay, let me see. Okay. So the main object that enables this UI, doing UI focus, is focus node, which is an object. This one is not a widget. It is an object. When it is focused, that object is focused, then receives all the keyboard events. So we can direct all the keyboard events to the focus node. That's the main element. So in Flutter, we have widgets. So primarily, we are working with widgets. So then we have focus widgets, which is internally using focus node. So it makes our development easier. Then we have focus scope, another element, which restricts, is similar to the focus, but restricts the node traversal, the elements traversal in a specific boundary, in a specific group. Another interesting object that we have is focus traversal policy, which defines how the focused elements in a UI, they can be traversed. Okay, so keep in mind focus node, which is internal details, focus scope, and see how we are doing UI focus navigation. So I'm running a very basic app that exercises the focus in Flutter, and then we look into how we can leverage these to make our navigation on TV easier. So let's start. So now the A UI element, which is in fact a button, is focused. Then when I'm okay, let me please capacitor. Okay. So you can see how I'm interacting with the keyboard. So okay. So all the navigation, all the elements inside the focus scope 1 are restricted. So the focus is not jumping to another focus node. So the focus is restricted, it's constrained here. Although you see button labeled B is not focusable, so it's we'll explore to see how. But then we can also see how we can jump to the focus scope number 2 also. So we will see. So this somehow here is I'm doing some code modification live. Remove this widget. So I wanted to highlight some limitation we have. So, okay. So the default in Flutter, default UI traversal is reading order traversal policy. What does it mean? That policy defines how the UI elements should be focus element should be traversed. So initially, based on the application UI direction, it starts from the top left to bottom right, or top right to bottom left. It traverses the UI. So the one issue with that, it has memory effect. Because we are trying to have a custom UI traversal for the TV, as you saw. So we need to have our own custom one. The reason is because the initial one has a memory traversal policy. So when I'm pressing right arrow, I expect, as a TV user, to jump to the button B, but no, it's jumping to button labeled D, which is not expected. This is the default behavior we have. And here, please, we are using directional arrow keys. On TV, it's directional arrows. So, but on desktop or on web, they have access to the tab traversal. So when I'm pressing tab, it's working linearly as the way as expected. But on TV, there is no tab, just directional arrow. So we restricted all the focus to one scope. Now, how we can jump to the second scope, because we can create custom traversal policy for each scope. And we get leverage on that for the TV when we group our UI elements to different scopes. So this is scope number 1. Each scope or each node, I can listen, because focus nodes, they are keyword event listeners. So I can listen to the keyword event, and then if a specific condition is met, then jump to the next focus. So let's see. As you see, now I can jump to the second scope. So one of the, and based on this, having a scope and how to move between scopes, we can leverage on it and make our build our TV app navigational correct. So I'm doing walkthrough how the onKey event is working. So here, because when I'm pressing a key for the first line, when user press a key, there is press down, press up. So on key event, when user press a key, triggers 2 times. So here I'm checking if it is key up event, just consider it as handled. It won't bubble up to the upper children. Then here I'm checking if the arrow key is down, just then move to the next line. So if it is other key events, ignores. It ignores means the other listeners, they can handle it. Then I check here, okay, if I'm at the end of the first scope node, which is, it means focus in direction down here based on the conditions I have, then I'm asking focus scope 2 to be focused. So I'm requesting focus on it. So that's all. So based on this principle, we try to build the entire navigation onto TV. Although somehow maybe sounds complex, but we make it very simple. So also, I want to mention for the focus nodes, let's see, yeah, in Flutter we have, it's known, we have widget tree and other trees, and one of them is focus node tree. And any element that they have focus node, it means they can, if they are enabled, if they are allowed to listen to receive key events. So if, for example, for the app, for the simple button traversal scopes we saw, we have this basic widget tree, and we have corresponding focus node tree. And the focus node tree is a sparse version of the widget tree, which is very minimal. So the text is omitted because the text is not focusable. And yeah. Okay. So, okay, let me run the app. So Flutter, when we are, the goal of the Flutter is we are able, it enables all to develop applications that run on every platform. That's the goal. So regardless of the platform, just a screen. So it means I can run it also here on my Mac. So okay, let me run it. Okay, now we have our app. And the behavior we see here is exactly the TV. So there is no conditional check here. Okay, if it is TV, behave differently. If the same app, the same one, is compiled for the Android TV, and we are going to have a same experience. And here I'm using the keyword one. Okay, let's see how. So the home page, as we discussed, has a custom traversal policy. The reason is why. Let's see what we have for the default. Now I'm here. Okay. Yeah, it's clear. I'm using the default traversal policy, UI traversal policy we have in Flutter. So, okay, you see unexpected behavior. So I reached at the end of the scroll view. Let's see. Yeah, it jumps to the next one. When I selected the Shogun, when I press right arrow, it selects Hercules. And then, yeah, it's jumping. So it's not we need to modify it. We need to write our own custom ones because it's not working for our TV app. So, and let me, okay, for here, okay, I'm trying to say, yeah. So the policy internally uses a mix-in named directional focus traversal policy. And for horizontal axis UI traversal, so it starts from the selected element. When it reaches the end, then it jumps back to the next row and continues this UI traversal. This is default one. But we expect when we start and then we reach the end of the horizontal list view, it stops. And for the vertical, this is the actual UI traversal for vertical. But what we expect, in order to write our own policy, I have subclassed reading order traversal policy, or we can extend directly focus traversal policy with direction policy. Yes. Descendants. Okay, so I wrote a grid traversal policy which extends focus traversal policy and mix with directional focus traversal policy mixin, which is by default the default UI traversal policies in Flutter. They do like this. So what we need to do, we need to modify the main indirection method. In fact, I have modified the directional traversal policy mix-in. I did a tweak on it. So for example, when it reached the end of horizontal list view, let's see. Okay, yes, it should be reading. Yeah. Okay, it should be reading order. I modified it. Wait. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, I have removed the focus traversal policy. So here is the trick. So on my home page, I added a focus traversal group with my custom traversal policy for the grid view scope, which is this pane, which is this main right panel. It's using my own traversal policy. If I go inside, I have modified the directional traversal policy mix in, and all these codes is from that. And I just modified the in direction. So let's investigate for the horizontal, how it's locked. So the algorithm is like, it checks the focus direction. It is, now I'm moving focus to the right. So it tries to find the eligible nodes, which are the ones on the right side of the focus element, which is the nodes, they are on the right side of the avatar, which means it's day V Crockett and night day. And also, by default, these nodes, Robin Hood and Shogun and Drain the Oceans and the rest, on all of them, they are eligible nodes. But I modified it, and I said, okay, any which is in the right side and in the same axis. So it's trying to find any nodes which is in this axis, not the rest. And for vertical traversal, I also tweaked it. So instead of jumping to the Robin Hood directly, it tries to find the Shogun, which is the it tries to find the topmost, the nearest ones on the vertical axis, like Primal Survivor and Shogun, and then it tries to find the nearest one, which is to this tile. Okay, this is about the what options we have for UI traversal. I mean, customize it. We just need to customize the focus traversal policy and indirectional mixing. Now, this is the first scope. And based on the basic example we saw, then how we jump to the side menu. Okay, let me, so the side menu is also another focus scope. So here, that's on the right panel is our home grid. And based on the left or right arrow key events, we jump to the side menu or jump back to the home page. So this is the main principle we do for UI traversal. And each grid has its own traversal policy, the freedom we want. So the side menu is using the default traversal policy available, and the right panel is using our own custom one. Okay, let's see if I can make it bigger. So for the show page, so I also created two focus scopes. One for the show page, which is the background, this one, the wallpaper with the play button. Then, when I press arrow down, it jumps to another focus scope. So based on the focus change, I do UI transition. Another cool thing about the focus scope is when I'm inside this scope, then I'm restricted to interact with the below focus scope. If I don't, for example, if I am in a scenario that I don't define focus scope, for example, then as I'm traversing the UI, it also selects the behind the the foreground, the play, and add to list buttons. They will be selected. So the focus scope gives us for free. I mean, it doesn't allow us those buttons to be focused. So this UI now, this navigational, maybe also for seasons and episodes you see on the right. Again, they are two different scopes. So, and when season 2 is selected, a focus node change gets triggered, and based on that, I update the episode tiles. And when another good thing is when I switch scopes, they can retain the memory of last focus child. So, for example, I select the last one here, then I jump back to the seasons, and then I press right. Again, you see the last one is selected. So this is for free we have. And let's see what we have. Okay, so in order to build for the TV, we need all the UI interactive focusable UI elements. They should show focus, highlights, show some visual interaction. Like here we see border change. So I used and customized the default material buttons. I didn't create any UI control elements from scratch, because if I, for example, you see, as it's now running on Mac, I mean, on desktop with mouse. As I'm moving my cursor on it, it highlights. This one is highlights. But if I'm trying to build something from scratch, a lot of things I will miss, or I have to re-implement, which is not suggested. And if you have a rare case, be sure to have use focusable action detector, because it gives you focus change, hover change, and keyboard shortcut invocation. One thing I remembered. So here I'm in the show page. When I press escape on keyboard, I navigate back, which is expected. On the TV, there is no top bar back button. User, they press go back or the back on the remote. Or on desktop, they press escape, and it's working. So how it's happening? So if I open the So for the show page, okay, I have wrapped the entire page with a widget with focusable action detector, and which listens for the go back remote. I mean key remote on the remote, and invokes an intent. Then on actions, I listen to that intent and do my UI pop, view dismissal. So that's a thing. You can have it. Other strategies, if we have although the TV UI shouldn't be complex, should be simple and easy to traverse, but it's good, or it's suggested to group them based on their traversal requirements. Then the other one is, as the main asset, use focus scope and focus traversal policy if needed, and use the focus scope on key event to move between focus scopes. So you can traverse most of your UI elements by following these practices. And the last thing is test is required. Reason is you fix something, and if you don't write a test, it may break the other thing. So you add some stuff, then later you notice, oh, the go back is not working, the escape button is not working, or the UI is not traversing in the expected the way you want. So it's very, very important. Maybe for simple app like this one, I have omitted and it's fine. But if something is going to be production, it's very important. The UI is traversed in the expected manner. And yeah, thank you. I know it takes long, but yeah.